So, hello and welcome back to my exploit development playlist. In this video we will take a look at the fourth challenge of Rop Emporium, which is write4. And first of all, let's grab the binary again. So let's do some analysis first. We have some buffer overflow again, probably. So let's start this in GDB and do our usual things. Find the pattern. To find the offset here in main. So let's say pattern create 100. Copy this and continue. And looks like we still have our offset of 40. And then we will take a look at what we need to do. Looks like we need to write some string into our memory somehow. Okay, so let's start our scripting down here. We can already load the binary. We also don't want to have the checksec information, so we can already set the false, and we can already set the context binary, and let's also set the context terminal for debugging, and I'm using Kitty. Yeah, let's open it. It was a mistake. Let's open it in GDB again. And we only have simple buffer overflow here. And we don't have stack canaries and so on. Also no pi, so we can reliably jump to any location again. That's really helpful. So here we can see a call to print file, which takes in an argument into EDI. So let's see what is at that location. Thing that work. Nope. Okay, so non-existent is there. So probably we should just place somehow our flag.txt into EDI or RDI and then make our call to this function. So let's copy this. All right. Then what we need is probably pop RDI to get something from the stack into the RDI register. And that should be the address. So we have the address to print file. As we can see, we need to somehow load a pointer to our string into RDI. So we need to somehow have the string pointer on the stack. And that needs to be somewhere in the binary, but yeah, we don't have this anymore in the binary. Yeah, let's get it out of here. Let's open this really quickly in Red. Yeah, we don't have flag.txt here in here anymore. So let's see what we have here. Use function. And we have useful gadgets. Okay, here we have something interesting. We move something that is in R15 into a keyword pointer that R14 points to, so we can load something into R14 and R15 to write keyword is 8 bytes into whatever R14 points to, so that's interesting. So let's probably note down that gadget. Where is it? Station. Okay. And then we need our string pointer, basically where we want to store our string in the binary. So we need to have a section that is writable. Okay, let's see. So I forgot what the command is for showing these sections in Redair, but it is is. And here we basically need to find a section that is readable and writable, where we can store, oh, and it of course needs to be at least the size of a keyword, so 8 bytes. So let's see what we have. Let's first check the data section. That is usually, so already 8 bytes. That's perfect. And it's also read and writable. So let's just use the data section. And let's just copy the virtual address. It should be good as our string pointer. Okay. So what else do we need? We need to have a pop R14 and a pop R15, so we can load our data into R15 and our address into R14. So let's check here again, and let's browse around a little bit. Use a gadget. So we have that. Let's just use Ropper or Rop gadget. Hello, gadget. Hello, thank you. We would like to find some kind of R-scene. Okay, so this is perfect. We can jump here and have R14 and R15 filled at the same time, so we can just put the arguments on the stack and they get popped one by one into R14, the address, and our string in R15, and we can write it to the location pointed to by R14, which is here our string pointer, which is basically the data section. So let's start to craft our payload again. Or yeah, just this, and there we have then our, write this down, and or and this location. And with that we should have everything we need. So let's take a look at how everything should look like. So first we have our padding, which is again just a bunch of A's 40 to fill it up. Then we first need to populate our registers, 14, and then we first need to load the pointer into R14, which is first pop, and the string pointer, and then obviously the string we want to write, which would be 1, 2, 8, perfect. So that's perfect, we can get that with one write, perfect. Then we have the move with our arguments loaded already. Then we want to populate, we have one gadget missing. We need to load our argument to the print file into RDI, but that shouldn't be a problem. And then here, of course, we need the data again. So that's again our string pointer. And then we can finally call print file if I didn't make any mistakes there. So as we can see, already highlighted in red, need an RDI, pop RDI gadget. So let's find it here. Pop RDI. So that's also perfect. Like this. And then we should have our payload already. So let's correct with the program here. Let's get our process. Then we send our line after we receive this carrots symbol again, and payload. And after that, we can switch in interactive mode. So that goes. Fingers crossed. And we actually got our flag. First try. Perfect. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching. And let's see how the next challenge goes.